to this weekly review, August 15, 2020. This is your host, REM EV Guru. I'm going to take a different approach this time when doing this weekly summary. I am more or less going to kind of play it by ear. So let's go into the first topic. Well, there has been a research report, actually many of them, and it is way too costly for me to purchase these. These are intended for like institutions, hedge funds, and other players that have a lot more money than me. But that being said, you can do a lot of your own research online, and you can find much of this information the same. It's just they probably save you the time of doing so with those reports. The neodymium and praseodymium, as well as other minor rare earth metals and the glass industry, have all released their projections on their estimates on the futures. So that is important if you're like a heavy into the Amex and you're looking to purchase the consumables of that. Certainly you want to look at those. Next topic, we have neodymium spot prices since August 5th have shot up 10% worldwide in the consumable markets. This is true for the praseodymium as well. I believe, based on what I'm seeing, we may possibly at the cusp of another consumable market war and maybe very possibly another shortage in the near term. Of course, this is because of the recent spike on, we have two-pronged approach on this one. We have the recent spike from electric vehicles becoming obviously more popular and everything related to that, but as well as you have the outcome and the repercussions of the Arona, you know what, and that's really disturbed the market as well. And really, when you start seeing these things, it becomes clear that the market knows something is coming, and therefore if these prices are going up for these EV related products, they know better than we will ever know. Moving on to the next topic, scientists have figured out how to extract the valuable rare earth metals from acid mine wastewater. Well, according to these scientists at the University of Pennsylvania, a new way of treating acid mine effluent, which is a fancy way of saying the runoff or the waste product, could turn the entire issue of the environmental pollution here in the United States on its head. By way of what we do when we process and separate rare earth metals. Essentially, it stands now that the waste product, like the liquid runoff, the acid runoff, or whatever the byproduct is from the processing of whatever mine or plant it is, typically right now they're collected, they're treated to become less impactful to the environment, but are hardly ever reprocessed or redone to extract other minerals from it. So they're kind of just collected and treated and then just left there. Many of the processes we use today require acid to separate ores from junk minerals. Of course, I use the word junk very loosely because many times it contains valuable minerals such as rare earth metals and rare earth oxides, which in my opinion are ripe for the taking. Basically, the small scale tests that they've done where they've added or messed with the pH balance of the effluent, the runoff, by adding acid or taking away acid, and as well as adding carbon dioxide to the mix, allows for the extraction of rare earth metals and carbonites to form as a result of this added process. Basically what they're doing is they're messing with the pH balance of the runoff, as well as adding carbon dioxide, which allows crystals to form, crystal carbonites to form. And this allows them to, in their study at least, they prove that they can get up to 90% of the aluminum and 85% of the rare earth metals extracted successfully from that. Now, by volume, they don't state what that is, but certainly those numbers are enticing to look at. There's a possibility that even now mines that are focused on tungsten or copper, which generally do or are found in sediment that contains rare earth metals, perhaps they can get into the secondary business of taking their runoff, their effluent, and further extracting it more for valuable minerals to then sell to the market. Kind of a two-parter. Moving on to the next topic, we have the reality of the rare earth metal mines prior to obviously the newest news of Mountain Pass mine and it be going public soon. Many of these micro mines or exploratory mines have tried. Example, Ucore in Alaska, Texas Mineral Resources Corp in Texas, as well as Rare Earth Element Resources in Wyoming. They've all tried. They've all done exploratory resource prospects, but they've never really broken ground on a significant level. And that's mainly due in part by the inability for these mines to turn a profit, or quick enough, I should say, to turn a profit. And the competition from China is just overwhelming to them. So they haven't really seen much by that way. And as it stands now, the only way for a real rare earth metal company, a miner or a refiner or a combination of there, that could possibly stay afloat is with government or state subsidies, tax write-offs, and grants. Sure, the military is a very important buyer of REM products and REM, the minerals themselves, but the military alone is just not enough to sustain companies for the long term. So the question then becomes, what do we do? Well, with more and more writers and viewers and business interests as of late, the path to success is clear, in my opinion, as well as theirs. It isn't just a single approach, but a holistic one instead. We must maintain government funding, grants, tax incentives, as well as relaxing permitting standards to open new refineries. Plural there, refineries. But not allow shortcuts in safety, of course. Couple this relaxation of pollution regulation with a benchmark standard of improvement in efficiency and reduction of byproducts, maybe by integrals of 5, 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 5 years, they have to have 10% reduction in pollution or runoff, and then by year 20, they have to be maybe 80% efficient with their runoff. Additionally, we need further REM research to be promoted by the U.S. and by our allies. This will only improve our interests around the market in its entirety. It should be noted that the military can only do so much of its own R&D. Companies in the military should work, I think, hand in hand to allow private companies to absorb some of the critical knowledge and maybe product knowledge that the military has developed over the years that include rare earth metals. And I think they really should freely give it over to the private sector, or at least on a contractual basis, so they can further improve products and technology that we use today. It may be a surprise to some, but the government does own some of its own patents that they've discovered, and they kind of hold tight to those. Maybe if they can relax some of those, allow other companies to utilize some of the things that they've learned. As well as I believe if we can continue to get the backing from politicians, yes, special interest groups as well, private investors, and I think this would be a no-brainer for us. But for now, I guess we're subject to wait and see as the industry develops on its own the way it is going. And well, there hasn't been too much excitement this last week. It should be for those that are keeping close ties on the market. We are expecting some great things coming in the near future, especially Q4. Everyone's going to be all hyped up about the Mountain Pass mine. Well, if you got this far, please like and subscribe. It helps me with YouTube algorithms as well, and get my message out there. If you have any comments or suggestions on how to improve the videos, because these are really for you guys. If you guys like it, you will watch it. I appreciate any feedback. All right, well, till next time, see you later.